Welcome to the Savage Productions YouTube channel.
Hey, welcome back to the channel. So today is a good day at Savage Performance. As you can see behind me, we've got two old trucks in here. This is Old Truck Week at Savage Performance. As you guys know, you've seen the last video of this 1950 Chevrolet, and we have an old Ford in here. Not as old as this one. This one here is a 79 F100. This one was in a couple years ago. We did a big build on this truck. We did one of our 408 cubic inch stroker kits on this deal, and along with a lot of stuff. I mean, we did a lot of work on this truck. And so the history of this truck, it was the owner that owns it now. He bought it from an old guy that had two of these. Well, he had a Ford and he had a Chevy that were identical. Step side, regular cab, and he had both of them set up for show trucks. And they were in magazines and everything back in the 70s and 80s. So this one here came with a 302 engine, and it had a 351 Windsor. So these actually came with 302s. They came with 351 400 modifieds, or 351 modifieds, whatever they called them at that time. Well, this one, somebody put a 351 Windsor in it. So when he brought us the truck, we originally was going to do a top end kit on this because it ran fine. But digging into it, it was a very high mileage motor. The cylinder walls showed a lot of wear. It had all kinds of gummed up, like it had so much buildup in the engine, old oil, and it was just really bad. So we ended up, we were going to rebuild it. We were going to do a 30 over, 351 to be a 357. We were going to throw some good stuff at it, make some decent power. Well, since it's a 351 Windsor, it's an older block, went ahead and did a 408 stroker. So anyway, I'll get to that. I want to kind of go over, do a little walk around, show you a little bit about that in a minute. The reason it's back in here now is back when we did this build, we had to install some door poppers. What they do is they pop the door open, because as you can see, this thing has shaved door handles. Now it had some door poppers on it. They wasn't really wired correctly. They had no relays. They had, they just wasn't wired good at all. So we ended up doing some good old door poppers. Got it all wired up right with relays. The whole deal came with a remote control. And they worked really good, but sitting over the winter, they kind of got froze up. Like this is the old one right here. And it works sometimes and sometimes it doesn't. So, I called the manufacturer. Well, first I called the supplier, then I called the manufacturer, and they don't even offer a warranty for them at all. So, he has to be able to get into his truck. Instead of the way he had to get in, he had to basically go in through here so he can reach in there and unlock the door or open the door. So we ended up going with a different route, a different company. And these have really good reviews. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to try this deal. These particular ones have 6 different functions you can do on them. You can set up for, unlocking, locking the doors. You can do trunk poppers. You can do, you can control windows going up and down. You can just anything that you want to do. And you can do it by the remote here. So you can see this one's got door lock, unlock, and then it has 1, 2. Well, even though it only has 4 buttons, you can actually do 6 different functions on this thing. Really cool. So the new ones look like this. These actually had a large hole, and we was able to use the factory rod. Let me show you. We was able to use the factory rod that went up to the door handle. You can see that rod hanging down right there. So that rod, it went up to the door handle, the outside door handle. And we was able to use that. The new ones actually come with a cable. Let me show you. It actually comes with a cable that you would hook up. That's why the holes are so small. Well, what I did is I got this one all ready to go. I just drilled that center hole out to the size of the rod. I've got the bracket put on there. And I was able to get it adjusted up and down, so when it works, pops the door open. I've already put it on just to trial fit it to make sure the adjustment's right, and it works. So now I took it back off because I got to put it back on. I want to put some Loctite on these bolts that hold it in place, and that'll be good to go. So all I got to do is throw that on, and then I got to take the door panel off the other side and do the other one. I did have to rewire. So these are activated by ground. There's a little control box that I have mounted up under the dash. And the relays are already there. There's a relay for this door and one for that door that we wired in back when we did them the first time. Well, I went ahead and reused them relays and all the wires that are already ran. But I had to rewire the relays. They were controlled by ground activation instead of power activation, or instead of battery voltage activation, they're controlled by battery ground activation to the relay. So I had to rewire the relays. But other than that, you know, it was pretty straightforward. So let me show you. I still got to put the fuse in for the passenger door. That's why I've got it open. But all the relays, there's 2 relays up on the very top up there. I don't know if you can see them. Those 2 relays up there are the ones that feed the doors. There's one on the right that feeds the passenger door, and then there's one on the left up there that feeds the driver's door. These other relays actually control something else. We had to add a power block to this truck because the factory wiring was not going to be up to par for all the accessories that we had to add to this thing. So let me show you. This is the block here that we added. This is just a cover. And you can see we have a very large positive cable here. That one runs all the way to this circuit breaker. And then from the circuit breaker, it runs to the positive side of the battery here. We just hooked it to the positive side of the starter solenoid just to get battery power there. And then that actually feeds power to all of these, right? So I'll put that back on in a minute. And so basically all of that power feeds, you know, different accessories that we installed. Let me get a light. So we actually, 2 of the accessories that it feeds is these fans. Thing's got 2 massive fans. The relays for the fans are right there. And then all the wiring runs over to there for battery voltage. But then we also have them wires running inside for key on. So when you turn the key on, you know, it energizes the relays. Well, these fans will not come on until they see a certain temperature. And there's a sensor right there for that. So this is a pretty cool setup. This is a Griffin radiator. It came with the fans and the aluminum cover for the fans. This is a whole deal. This radiator is for this truck. It's actually for a camper special. That's why it's so big. As you can tell, it's massive. This truck does not have any overheating issues at all. And we also got a nice big catch can for it. But yeah, it works really well. So these fans come on at 190, 192, something like that, and then they shut off at like 187. But they're kind of set up for a 180 degree thermostat. That's what it is. So yeah, they work really well. So that's obviously two accessories right there that we had to set up. And then the other relays that I showed you up under there feed fuel pump. We have another relay for a fuel pump. So we had to do a fuel system on this truck. So this is a custom made aluminum fuel tank that's designed for these trucks. There's a company down in Florida that makes them. Bolts right in. And we did a bottom feed for fuel. So this actually has a bottom feed. It's a number 10 AN feed, comes out of the tank, goes into a 100 micron filter, goes into an aeromotive fuel pump, comes out to a 40 micron filter, and then it's an 8 AN feed all the way to the front. Those filters are also aeromotive. So this thing has plenty of fuel, let me tell you. Let me show you the front side of the system here. So we're using an aeromotive pressure regulator that's set up for a carbureted setup, lower pressure. We've got the 8 AN coming in. We've got an 8 feeding a quick fuel brawler 750 double pumper race carburetor. We got the gauge, a Holly gauge right there. So we was able to set the pressure. So it turned out nice. This engine has Edelbrock RPM air gap intake. It's got a set of 210 cc CNC ported aluminum heads with 208 intake valve. It's got a, this block was not a roller block since it was older, but we did put a roller cam in it. And we went with a pretty decent cam, you know, not too big, not too small. Since the truck weighs about 3,800 pounds, you know, 4,000 maybe. It's not very heavy. So we wanted to go with something that had plenty of mid-range torque and power. So this thing pulls hard to 62, 6,300. Didn't really want to sing it up past that. We could have, because it's got a fully forged rotating assembly. But we went ahead and went with a cam that would be perfect for this truck. So he shifts it around 62, 6,300. It's got a 3,300 stall speed converter in it. Works really well. This thing is badass. It will get up and go, let me tell you. It surprises a lot of people. It sounds awesome, but it will move out, let me tell you. This motor makes about 600 flywheel, 93 octane. It's got just shy of 11-to-1 compression. We use a flamethrower Protronics distributor. I've had really good luck with these things. They're billet aluminum. They come with a complete spring setup to set the timing curve as you want it. We have this one, let's see, we got it sitting at about 12 degrees idling, and we have full timing, total timing in at 3,000, 3,200. we got it, it's all in. Because of the stall converter, you know, you can do that because there's not much load on it to create any type of detonation, even though he runs 93 octane and we're under control with the timing, or we're under control with the actual compression, right? So 28 degrees total is where we got it at. That's where these things like it. So it's a great combination, man. It just drives great, no issues. Drivability is perfect. Also too, if you notice, it's got power brakes on it. This truck came with disc brakes on the front, drum brakes on the back, but it was manual brakes. You know, so it was really hard to stop. So he wanted some power brakes, so we did a power brake conversion kit on it. So now he's got some good brakes, and that's another reason we didn't go too crazy on the camshaft. You know, wanted some good vacuum for the power brakes. So that worked out good. Let's see, we did some gauges. These are all the gauges here that we did. Didn't want to mount them on the dash or anywhere down low. So we ended up putting them right here on the pillar. A little bit of a challenge, but it worked out good. They're Phantom Series autometer gauges, white face. So we got an oil pressure, water temperature, we got an air fuel ratio, wideband, and then of course the tack with a mini shift light. And he's had this interior redone since we did the truck. He had the seats redone. As you can tell, they look really nice. New carpet, had the door panels redone. Headliner, had the dash pad all redone. And then we ended up putting the steering wheel in for him. Really nice wheel. So yeah, let me show you these lights, man. He bought these headlights and put them on, man. These things look sweet. They really do. They're all LED, high beam, low beam. They look nice. They really do. And they just plug right into the factory wiring harness. They have the adapter built into them already for the HID. Let's see. We also went with the MSD coil. This is the one that I like to use a lot. It's a bolt-on, nice looking coil. They just work great, and they're affordable. They're not that bad at all. So yeah, so we went with Ford Performance or Ford Racing valve covers with the Ford Racing valve cover breathers, BBK ceramic coated headers. This thing's got 2.5 inch exhaust. Could have went with 3 inch, but you know, went with 2.5 inch. We wanted to keep some of that torque there because of the weight of the truck. So it's got 2.5 inch custom exhaust that was done by a muffler shop that we use. H-pipe, they built an H-pipe for it. And then the customer wanted the exhaust to come out on the sides like this. So it's got side exhaust, one on this side, one on the other side. For mufflers, we're using Flowmaster 50 series. They sound freaking amazing. Like they give you that Flowmaster sound. It sounds like just sounds like a race motor, you know, muscle car. But you can drive down the road, you can talk on the phone, you can listen to the stereo. And then of course, when you get on it, you know, they get loud. You just don't get that drone, and they're not quite as loud as the 40 series. So they work really well. We actually put these on a red Fox body that we did a 427 swap in. And he heard the way it sounded on that car, and that's why he went with them. So it was a good choice. So I just wanted to kind of give you guys a little, you know, walk around on this truck. It's really good. It's a nice truck, man. He's going to end up getting it painted. As you can see, this paint was done way back, right, when it was, you know, restored as a custom back then. So what he's going to do is he's going to keep the maroon burgundy color and get rid of the stripes When we had the engine out, he had the whole engine compartment repainted. They've already repainted the engine compartment under the hood and everything. And they did have to repaint this whole section of the cowl because this was flaking off. So they painted this whole section all the way up. That's why you don't see a stripe here, like on the hood or the doors. But that's his plan. He's going to get it repainted. It's going to be all one solid color. He's going to go with some new steps here, and they're going to be all black. He's probably going to change up, you know, the lights and stuff. Try to get back to that burgundy and black theme. He's going to have another cover put on it. It's going to be black. So it's really going to be a sweet truck when it's all done. He also has another old Ford that he bought that's a four-wheel drive that was a frame-off restoration. Well, I should say it was frame-off, but they didn't do anything to the body. And he's getting that done. They've been working on it all winter. It's supposed to be done here in a couple of weeks. And I've seen the truck when he bought it. It was a nice truck. It had a 351 400 modified engine in it. It just needed to be painted. So they ended up repainting the inside of the truck and the outside. It had some rust. They took care of all the rust and everything. All black. And he put new wheels and tires. I mean, and it's nice. He showed me some pictures. It's really nice. So he's supposed to bring that by when he gets it done. And we're going to do a little video on that truck and put it on our channel. So I can't wait to see it. That's going to be cool. And then this winter coming up, of course, he's going to just enjoy both of the trucks this summer. And then during the winter, he's going to get this one repainted. So it's going to be nice. He's going to have his two-wheel drive. He's going to have the four-wheel drive set up. But yeah, this is cool. So I want to go ahead and I'm going to get this popper put back in the door, get the door panel on. I'm going to go ahead and get the other one switched out, and then we're going to crank this thing up and take it for a ride. All right, we got this thing done. I got it parked outside already, kind of warming up. So we're going to walk out here, check this thing out so you can hear what it sounds like. We're going to take it for a ride. Let me lock the door. Make sure I got my keys so I don't lock myself out. All right, so this is what we got. If you guys remember, or for you guys who haven't seen this truck, if you go to our Facebook page, Savage Performance Facebook page, you will see this truck running or idling when it didn't have exhaust on it. We had just got the motor fired up at that time, broke it in, doing some adjustments, and it's sitting there idling uncapped with just the headers. It sounded awesome. Of course, it sounds good now. Yeah, this thing's gonna look sweet when it gets new paint job. I mean, it looks sweet now. Thing gets a lot of compliments. All right, let's go ahead and get in this thing and take it for a ride. It looks a little bit better in the sun, the colors. Kind of bright. I don't know if you can see that or not. Like I say, it's still warming up. It's not even at 150 degrees yet. seatbelt on. Alright, got my seatbelt on. He's got to get the front suspension taken care of on this. It's got some wore out suspension, so it's a little tricky to drive, especially when you hit the brakes. Very throttle responsive, man, with this stall converter especially. Yeah, this thing's fun to drive. These 408s, this particular one with the stall converter and stuff, man, it perfect combination. Just roll into the throttle without even downshifting. Once the four wheels kick in, forget it with this stall converter. That's just rolling into it. Getting some heat in it. Got about 155 degrees now. Definitely fun to drive, man. I love an automatic. This automatic is still stock. It hasn't been rebuilt. Don't even have a shift kit. But, you know, it's still fun to drive with a stall converter. Whoa! Blows the tires instantly. Holy crap! Oh, I forgot about that. Get turned around. There's a lot of traffic over there. No sense in recording me going and turning around, so but yep, thing's fun to drive. Just need a little suspension work and it'll be good to go. Can't really do much with it, just blows the tires, man. Forget first gear. I'm in second gear here. See what it do. Oh, man, that thing pulls hard. Man, don't want to get on too much. That was rolling pretty quick right there. That was just second gear roll. can't do nothing at first. It just wants to blow the tires, and then it'll just continue spinning when you go into second. But if you roll it on in second gear, it seems to hook up. Temperatures are good. It always runs, even hot weather, it just runs right around about 180, 185. It's got a 180 thermostat, so once the temperatures get hot out, it stays right around 185. Oh yeah, this thing surprises some people. He needs to get some drag radials on it for sure. Everybody just wants to run the stop signs. They don't even want to stop. I see more people that just blow right through the stop signs right there. We are back. I'll just park it right here for now. Just check a couple things, and then well, I'm gonna pull it back inside. I'm gonna call him and see if he wants to come get it. It's supposed to rain tomorrow. It's supposed to rain tomorrow, so I know he's not gonna come get it tomorrow. I've got another car I really need to pull in, so yeah, I'm gonna call him and see if he wants to come and get it. So anyway, I'm gonna call it a done deal on this one. Let me get on out here. So yep, got these door poppers working good. I can get in the truck without having any issues. Man, it's kind of windy out here. It can never be nice weather without the wind, right? Let's try number 2. Yeah. All right, good deal. Well, hey, I'm gonna go ahead and finish this video up. This is done. So yeah, just wanted to kind of show you guys a little walk around on this truck and take you for a little ride in it. Couldn't do nothing crazy. A lot of traffic out, you know. It's going home time right now. It's about 5 o'clock, 10 after 5. Just too much traffic. That's why I take it down that back road and kind of get on it a little bit, but don't really want to get on it too much there either. Not a lot of traffic on that road, but there's a lot of animals, deer, all kinds of wild animals there. I don't need to be getting on a vehicle and having run into a deer, you know what I mean? So, but yeah, appreciate you guys checking us out, and be on the lookout for some more videos coming out soon. Give us a thumbs up if you like the video. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe to the channel. Hit that notification bell so you can get the notifications when the next video comes out. We appreciate it, and we'll catch you on the next video.